on. Just,
Yeah. No, I'm
just hearing, it's just hearing us talk.
Okay.
I'm rich in real life.
Got so many motherfuckers hating on me.
Cause I'm rich in real life.
My money never run out.
Cause I'm rich in real life.
This ain't no come up.
Cause I'm rich in real life.
City to city.
Rich in real life.
Got so many motherfuckers hating on me.
Cause I'm rich in real life.
My money never run out.
Rich in real life.
This ain't no come up.
Cause I'm rich in real life.
This is gonna go crazy. It's gonna go crazy. Yeah.
Welcome back. Rich in real life. There's a difference. Chef, you gotta let the people know who we got up in this building.
It's good. You know, rich in real life. Here it is. You know, I always bring people who's either, you know, trying to be rich in real life or is rich in real life in different areas. You know what I mean? So it's like I had to bring some legends in the building who's actually making it great in the music industry and a lot of other things too. You know what I mean? But we don't gatekeep over here, so there's no gatekeeping. So we go, you know, talk about some real deep dive of some music industry, man. We got my boy B Moore, Brandon Moore, and we got DJ Get Your Money in the building.
Sir, Ski.
What's the deal?
What's the deal, my brother?
Yeah, so like I'll give you a little background. You give a background about yourself, B, and then get your money.
Man,
Nah, let me go first. So you're not finna, you're not finna throw all these accolades out and have my little simple shit go. Yeah. Nah, I'm DJ Get Your Money, Blue Bucks official DJ, Kayla for real official DJ, producer, acting inspiring, you know, rich in real life. Yeah.
But you DJ for a lot more because, you know, it's a lot
you know,
more
like
places.
you
know, you don't tune it down.
Yeah,
you know, when I go to YG, you DJ for YG, OGZ,
James Harden.
James Harden. Like, come on, man. Don't try to, you know, you're the official DJ, but you play backup. You play backup for a lot of other people too. You know what I mean?
Backup, man. I'm on the side show. You hear me?
Yeah, you did. Okay. Because I know any other top artists in the West Coast when they can't make it. I see Get Your Money there. You know what I mean? Filling in because, you know, it's only like a handful of DJs that they really circle around. Like, Get Your Money.
Real.
He ain't going to say no. He going to pop up.
Come on, I'm going to show out.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Go ahead.
Oh shit, what's up, y'all? This is B Moore. Been in the music game professionally for about 15 years, you know what I'm saying? Music, real estate, started doing music 2009. Came up with YG, Ty Dolla $ign, DJ Mustard, you know what I'm saying? We all met, all hustled, you know what I'm saying? And now, you know, the team is global, you know what I'm saying? So it's more, we'll get into that, you know, but that's like a little short intro.
Man, it's crazy how it all worked. Because, like, knowing your history and knowing it's like it's even crazy how we even met. So I'm going to give you a little history how Money probably don't even know that. Billy probably don't even know how we met. I actually met him through the OVO folks. The OVO team actually introduced me to B More. I was hanging out with DJ Charlie B, you know what I mean? Hanging out with the OVO crew a lot. And I knew I was doing work with them. And I was, you know, when they toured, I'm hanging out with them. And I'm like, yo, he just overheard I was trying to get Blue Blux. Because they dropped the bag on the Flux the club out here. Blue Blux was really popping. And DJ Charlie B was like, yeah, I know the guy who run Blue Blux. So word. You know, he all the way in Toronto. And then he was like, Brandon Moore. He you know, he runs Blue Blux. He manages them. You know, Blue Blux is hot right at the time. And they still hot. But it's like they doing their thing. And he plugged me in. And me, you know, they plugged the conversation three-way. And ever since we've been locked in, tied in.
100%.
And tell them how you and Charlie B met. Tell them that story.
Man, I met Charlie B. So on our first tour, man, this is My Crazy Life tour. This back in like 2014. So, you know, this is our first like national tour, first album, everything successful. My nigga going crazy, YG going crazy. And so we had a tour date in Canada, but none of our crew can get into Canada.
Oh, damn.
So we had a tour bus full of homies. And when it came time, man, everybody tried to go. But they, like, only me, YG, and YG little brother made it, you know what I'm saying? But we already knew we was going to probably have an issue and everything, so we reached out to the OVO folks, the OVO scene, and they was like, you know, get Charlie B.
Yeah, because you had the song with Drake, you already had the song with Drake?
Yeah, we already had the Who Do You Love, you know what I'm saying? Drake always showed love, you know what I'm saying? Who Do You Love was hot at that time. So, you know, he was like, you know, get with DJ Charlie B and everything, and got with Charlie B. It was me, Charlie B., a security guard, you know what I'm saying? And we did a whole Canadian tour ourselves, you know what I'm saying?
Figured it out after.
Yeah, all the homies was at the border. They was in like Buffalo and shit.
Did y'all had to thug it out a couple times with Charlie B? Y'all get into altercation?
I mean, look, man, you know, we got it was crazy, man. It was a different experience, man. That was our first time in Canada and everything. So, you know, we was young. There was a lot of stuff going on, man. In Canada, some of them cities, man, you can drink at 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of drunk kids, man, and, you know, we performing and shit. You know, people want to throw bottles and shit. And So every night, man, usually our team know how to move.
Right,
you feel me? So if we had our whole team there, it would have been crazy, you feel me? But it's just us, so it's just like our security was moving slow and shit. So, the artists just every night jump in the crowd. Somebody say something crazy. It was a lot of fighting going on, you know what I'm saying? But it was an experience,
Damn.
you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't change nothing about it, man. It was a good time. It's a lot of good memories and shit. We got a lot of love for Canada, man. Those was good times, but I don't think all the homies can still get over there. You know what I'm saying? So,
but it's just you, YG, and Charlie B, right? It's just y'all three. It's like, you said team.
Yeah, and I think it was just more so excitement, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that was our first time up there, and I think a lot of people was excited. And then sometimes, when you go on the road, just in hip hop, sometimes people just gonna try to test you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of that. You know what I'm saying?
That somebody not soft as shit.
It was a lot of that shit going on, man. But it's like I said, I wouldn't change it for nothing, man, because it missed some good times, man.
It's crazy how that that happened, that relationship happened, and that relationship connected you to me.
Yeah.
We've been doing business forever for a while, so it's just crazy how when the power of networking stays
100%.
connected.
100%, man. That's one thing I tell people, man. Like when I first met Chef, you feel me? We just hit it off immediately. And people that don't know, man, I tell Chef this all the time, and I've been coming to San Diego doing a lot of business for a long time. And, Chef's, he had a restaurant called Chef SD's. And what I respected about it was a black establishment in the middle of downtown San Diego. I ain't never seen nothing like that.
Ever.
That was successful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was successful. Everybody was going there. And, he was already booking artists there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, you know what? Just based off the hospitality, the respect, I see how he treating people. You know what I'm saying? I see how he networking, man. Let me just introduce him to my network. You know what I'm saying? And we started doing stuff. He started booking, YG. He started booking, RJ, Blue Bucks. Kamai. He showed love to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's how we built our relationship and everything. And it just really started there. And he was like, man, I'm trying to get some game in the music. And my whole thing was like, look, for me, he said it earlier, man, I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm the type of person where if you want some game, shit, I can tell you what to do, or you can just move around and everything and shit. We done traveled the world. You done been to Dubai with me and everything, and it's just,
I told B-More, I'm trying to figure out this tour thing, because B-More is the highest tour. So when we tour, man, we do like a 30-cent tour. We got space on the couch of the tour bus if you want. Yeah. I rode a tour bus with him I did a couple tours, did the whole tour with Blue Bucks, did the whole country. I flew in a couple cities we did a Kamaya tour. I've been on like 4 or 5 tours of B-More. Now I learned everywhere I went, being any little city we at, he introduced me to the plug. Hey, this is the person you need to know. And it's weird because right now Dom Kennedy and Casey Veggies, they in Atlanta, South Carolina. Same relationships I met, learn how to do this. I'm plugging those guys in with people who don't know that side of town.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go on and tell you how we first started with YG.
I mean, I always want to be in the music.
How you got into management?
Yeah. Man, well, look, man, I tell a lot of people this. I didn't want to manage nobody. You know what I'm saying? That was just a real thing. So I always wanted to be in music, man, from when I was like 6, 7 years old. So just I always put myself in positions to just learn the game, be a student of the game. You know what I'm saying? So, I started off doing parties like in high school. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing parties, charging $3. You know what I'm saying? My mom go out of town. I got the house parties going on and shit. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know what was going on, but I was just doing stuff like that. And my philosophy was, I tell people this, man. I got in music for a few reasons. One, because that was just a natural passion. But for me, I grew up in, L.A. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
95th Vermont, to be exact. So, anybody that know that area, you know what I'm saying, that's gang territory, man. You got Crips, you got Hoovers over there and everything. So, me as a kid, I tell people, growing up in L.A., you're going to experience like a lot of the gang culture in elementary school. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I was a person that always was trying to unite people. You know what I'm saying? So my thought was like, I feel like through music, I can help change lives, right? And bring people together. So that's where the party element came in, because you got to think, when you're doing a party, people having a good time and they're not worried about nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I had a lot of love. So any party I did, man, I had people from all over, different schools, different places coming in, having a good time. But it was also a way to break the music and market the music. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing was like, if I got a party, man, it's 200-300 people here, and I control the music, it gives, whatever artist that I'm pushing a chance to get heard and everything. It just, I think if you keep going to a party, you keep hearing the same shit over and over, eventually that's going to become the person's song. So I kind of just took that philosophy and ran with it. And then, a lot of the greats, they kind of came up the same way, man. So I study all the greats and everything. And
So hold on, I'll cut you off. So you feel the DJ method works? Do you
100%.
still do you think it still works now
100%.
with the digital?
100%. I think digital marketing, I think is very important. Obviously, that's the fastest way, to spread music nowadays. But I think people underestimate the person-to-person marketing. You know what I'm saying? The DJ marketing, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Look at it like this, man. When you go to any big award show, when you go anywhere, I don't care if it's the Oscars, Grammys, All-Star Weekend, Super Bowl, everybody's still looking for, all right, cool, where the party at? Where the club's at? You know what I'm saying? It's nothing like the feeling. It's nothing like the feeling. Music is a feeling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, the DJs, to me, they're one of the most important pieces of the game because, they directly marketing to people every night. You know what I'm saying? You got to think, right? If you got one DJ that's playing 5 different clubs a week, he probably reaching 2,000-3,000 people. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I feel like that's an element of the game that people don't take advantage of no more.
So, Money, how you feel about that? Like, have you seen any records break by you just keep pushing the song?
Hell yeah, Soak City. I ain't gonna lie, like that shit.
Yeah.
The first time I heard Soak City, I was on the east side. So they was telling me like, "Hey, it's this little nigga that go to King Drew, bro. Play this song." I'm like, all right. But I'm like brushing. I'm like, all right, whatever. They like, bro, play this song, bro. And I'm like, all right, man. I played the song 10 times after that, nigga. That same night, I said, what the fuck?
Because they didn't know about the song already.
They knew about it. They knew about it because they went to school with them.
Okay.
I was just at a block party, and they told me about it. Then once I played it, I took it to Hollywood, started playing it, and then I started hearing it over and over. I'm like, oh, nigga, Shazam, that motherfucker. A week later, they dropped the remix with Blue Bucks and OGZ and Tiger and all of them. I was like, oh, yeah, it's on.
Man.
Yeah.
Brought them out at the Orange County show.
So that it was better person to person because a lot of that stuff was digital too, like TikTok
Yeah.
and Instagram
Yeah.
reels, right?
Yeah.
I would say it'll hit a bigger marketing socially, though, because so many people, I feel like people are on their phone more than what they are talking to people in person, you feel me? Because I know personally, I wake up, I get on my phone before I do anything,
Yeah.
you feel me? So it's only so much I can see. As soon as I wake up, I can see 10 new music videos or something on my phone before I even get out the bed. Then I can go and tell somebody, like, hey, I just seen such and such music video. You seen that new video?
Yeah.
Feel me? So it go hand in hand, you know?
Yeah, so, but that's real because there's so much out there. It's flooded, but you go outside and you keep hearing it. So, well, would you give a new artist with some money? Would you say, hey, I got 10K? Would you put it in digital, or would you pay a bunch of DJs to play your shit every day, all night?
Well, you know what?
It
You
depends.
gotta do everything.
You can't have that. If you gonna do it, you gotta do it all the way.
Do it all the way.
You
know
might
what
as well
I'm
go 5,000 to 5,000. Give 5,000 to DJs and 5,000 to social.
No, that's a good answer.
Yeah, you
That's
know,
a good answer for
This
sure.
music game is a job, man.
You can't
know, a lot
half-ass
of-
when you
a
gonna
lot
do it,
of
you gotta
people
do
don't
it.
realize that, like, at the end of the day, a lot of especially if you're trying to do this independent route, man, you got to think, man, you're competing with artists that have major deals that don't got to finance their own shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you independent, you got to go 10, 20 times as hard. You know what I'm saying?
And then we talking about independent. So I don't know. I had spoke about that the other day, right? About major labels and independent or major. I was like, man, look, every top artist is major.
Facts.
Everybody was want to be signed to a major. You know, it's like being in the hood. To me, it's like I'm in the hood. Nobody want to be in the hood.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You really want to be in the prestigious house. So independent is cool, but you're independent because like that's what you got to work with. So you got to make it work. And how you feel about that? Like I got some people who made comments. I don't know if Mikey put that on the screen. They made comments on my Instagram, and when I spoke about major or independent, you know, they were like, "Well, E40 did it, and all the Bay Areas they making a hell out of money." But I'm like, hold up, are everybody really making money? And then like they say E40 is an independent artist.
Yeah.
Like
Man,
tell
look,
me your input about that.
You know, I tell people that like I look at it like this, right? You know, there's pros and cons to everything. You know what I'm saying? I think I would prefer to do business with a major label just because of the infrastructure. Right. You got people, you got a whole staff that's working on music. On fire. That's their job. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you're independent and you don't have a business mind, which a lot of artists don't, and you don't got the infrastructure, it's gonna be hard. You know what I'm saying? And I think what's fucking up the game now is because you can just upload your stuff and put it out there, and you can make some money. You'll make a few thousand here and stuff here. You know what I'm saying? But it's also like, man, what level of artist you trying to be
That's
at?
way more
That's
money
really
in
what it
music.
is. It's like what level you trying to play at. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's the music business. You know what I'm saying? So I've been able to see both sides of it. I don't knock nobody that's independent, but I understand the challenges that come with it. You know what I'm saying? So I always tell people this: like, if you with a major label, if I got a song, I'm gonna have a streaming department that I can go have a meeting with that's gonna oversee all my streaming business. I have a PR department that's gonna make sure all my interviews are set up. Got a digital marketing department, you know what I'm saying? I got, all these radio promotions department. I got all these departments to where I can use their infrastructure. Now, if I'm independent,
last time.
Yeah,
right?
that's a machine, right?
It's a machine.
Yeah,
So
okay.
if I'm independent, I may have to outsource all this shit.
Okay.
Right?
By
And
myself.
that shit costs. A PR person can cost $5,000 a month.
Yeah,
You feel me? You may have to pay this radio promo guy X amount of dollars. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, when you outsourcing this shit, they may not even do it right. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I've been able to like work on both sides of it. I just like the infrastructure and the machine better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had a lot of success, with it. You know what I'm saying? So I prefer that.
Yeah, that's why I see it works as well. Like, or I tell people, like, if you're not getting signed on major labels, you hire all those people independently. A lot of labels dropped a lot of folks.
Yeah.
Now you have the digital marketing person, you have the PR, you have the radio run person. Like, if you have the money, you can hire a little team, like and get the little machine behind you that a major label will offer you.
And it's not impossible to do it independently. But again, the goal should be able to build yourself up. This shit is like, all right, man, how can I put myself in a position to be drafted and get with a major on my terms?
Get my max
Feel me?
term.
That's the whole point. If you're doing independent, it's kind of like you should be doing it for some kind of goal. You know what I'm saying? Don't just say,
Right.
I see a lot of people say, I'm independent. It's like, bro, like you saying that, like
Like you just
Like
saying
it's
and bragging
saying
about
it's,
it.
it's like, bro, that's like you should be in it to where you want a company to say, hey, look, I see how your business is
Here
doing.
go 10 mil for
You know what
it.
I'm saying? I see you able to generate X amount of dollars. How can I come and be a part of your program?
Got you.
That's the goal. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And but again, a lot of people just, again, it's a business, and I feel like with the music game, a lot of people get a hit record, and they just fall into the music business, and some people just don't learn it. You have to have a team that's going to
teach
be
you.
all on the same page and everything. And going back to your point, I know I ain't even answered the question because you asked me about the YG stuff earlier.
Yeah.
It was timing. You know what I'm saying? I was doing my thing. I wanted to be in the music business. I met DJ Mustard. I met Mustard before I met YG. I met Mustard first, and he
But
was
he's always a promoter, son, right?
not. So I was a club promoter, but I did PR.
Mustard's a DJ, all our shit.
Yeah,
When I was
okay.
You know what I'm
younger.
saying? So I met Mustard first through his uncle, DJ T, who was my favorite DJ at the time, and T was like, I want to bring my nephew, start DJing your club. I was like, fuck it, because for me, again, it was like, this is what I'm doing it for.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
My whole thing is about, all right, cool, how can I?
You got Mustard, you got Ty Dolla, YG. Those some legends.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
some
yeah,
legends.
And I want to say that's a few months after we all linked up, and I was just like, at the end of the day, like, I did street scene shit. I was doing parties. I did PR.
Yep.
I did every job it is because I just wanted to learn every aspect of the business. And the whole goal was to again help West Coast artists, man. And Mustard started introducing a lot of that new young music. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, this is what it is. So anytime anybody came to the club that had a song, I'll see him in line at the club. Hey man, come hop out of line, man. Come get this VIP. I'm giving them bottles of Grey Goose.
Yeah.
Bottle popping wasn't a thing at the
Yeah.
time, but it's it's becoming a thing.
It's
But
coming a thing.
it was really just about showing love, and we had no motion at the West Coast. This is years ago, but my whole thing was being able to help provide a platform.
Right.
And
Right.
that club, I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. I
Right.
got at that club we had Drake, we had Tyga, we had Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? We had J Rock. YG, obviously, Mustard was the DJ. Cali Swat District was the promoters.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, all right, hold on. Let me cut you off real fast. Hold on. So that's what I was saying. You were making your moves during the whole jerking movement.
It was the whole jerky
Okay,
shit.
okay.
And what's
But-
crazy?
yeah.
Because at that time, I remember artists was protesting the West Coast on the radio station. It was like, they're not supporting us. And I'm like, bro, y'all not giving them nothing to support. Y'all don't got a
Right.
movement going on in the streets. And I'm
Right.
like, I'm like, yo, the movement is here. And my whole thing was like, hey, look, we gonna build something so big, we gonna make niggas come to us.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. You know what I'm saying? And YG was in jail. He was about to get out of jail, and some of the promoters and the team was like, "Yo, you got to get YG. You got to book YG." And I was like, "I don't know YG, but let me go ahead and do my research."
Was Tuda booted out? That's what Tuda
Tuda Boo was out, but again, I heard the music in passing, but I didn't know who the artist was. So when I went home, I went on YouTube and MySpace, and I listened to the music. Right?
MySpace.
Yeah.
Boom,
Right,
that's
right.
showing the nigga
Display
age.
song.
You know what I'm saying? But when I heard the music, I was like, hey, this the artist, man. This is the artist that's gonna change the game. I heard it off top. I heard the music because
He had to break this swag and jerk.
yeah, it was a jerking
Skinny
and
jeans and all that shit.
It was though. I'm saying that like people sleep on that jerking
good time
movement
of
was
life.
huge.
That was a good
It was
time
a
of
great
life,
time
man.
of life. It gave honestly, it gave Cali a new revamp. Just to be
That's
honest,
a new
you
wave.
know what it
Yeah.
was too? Everybody at that
I wasn't
time.
even living in Cali at the time, so I
Yeah.
you know.
Everybody at that time was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you got to go through Dr. Dre. You got to go through this." And I'm like, "Man, no, y'all gotta turn
Somebody
the
else
streets up.
gotta do it.
Y'all got to turn the streets up." You know what I'm saying? And luckily, it was just divine timing, bro, to where it was just like a perfect storm. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody was young. Like I said, Cali Swag District, Ty Dolla $ign, Mustard, YG, James Harden was coming to the club, OT Genesis coming to the club, fucking
What club was
DeMar
this?
DeRozan. It was called Element in Hollywood, right on Hollywood and Las Palmas. And right behind us, it was a club called Lake Do, and Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, all them used to be going to the club. And this is a long time ago. Our shit was so cracking because we was young, bro. We wasn't focused on making no money. Our
Right.
shit was free
Just
before
trying to
10.
have fun.
right?
You know what I'm saying? Free before 10. We used to go home broke every night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was more so like we was just having fun and
Making a wave for yourself.
It got to the point to where the labels was like, hey, we need our artists on your stage and everything. And, you know, they was like, book YG. I went home. I was like, hey, he the guy. And I ended up booking him for one night. And shit, my boy, Max Ghost.
Look at that picture
Yeah,
right there, man.
that's old school, man. It's like
Damn,
Big C and
that's-
YG.
yeah,
Love
YG,
you,
yeah.
like
You
Jerry.
know what I'm saying? That's early in our marathon, man. Shout out, man. YG, RP Nip. You know what I'm saying? That's us in New York, man. We just happened to run to each other in New York
Damn.
on this photo, just hustling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but yeah, we all linked up, man, and the rest is history, bro. You know what
So,
I'm saying?
okay, we got that. We got the establishment. Now, like, what took you off? Like, what gave you like that next step, that next level? What happened? Like,
Shit, got a deal, right?
Ooh, shit.
Everybody like stay
hey,
independent. Like,
Yeah,
I got a
fuck
deal.
that. But no, really,
Yeah.
It was that, but it was also like, you know, Two Little Buddha was just a hot, undeniable song. You know,
Right.
again, we
And
did
then
a lot
50
of
got a remix that took it off, right?
that's a crazy story in itself, man. Like we again, YG is 18, 19.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, look, I'm in the club at that time. I'm in the club 5 nights a week. So I'm like, look, I'm gonna take the record. I'm gonna go to the club every night. I'm not leaving the DJ booth unless they play this shit. I still do that to this day. Like, you know, I'm in the club. I'm always be in the club, and I'm telling this nigga, hey man, play this. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I you know, it's nothing like a hit record and just kind of seeing the people reaction to it. And I feel like, man, I understand culture. I'm from the culture, so I feel like if I like some shit, there's gonna be at least a few million people that's gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? That's just the
Other
philosophy.
than one boy
You know what I'm saying?
with no names.
Oh man, I don't know. but no, long story short, man, we just put the work in, bro, and you know, Tooted and Booted, you know, had the, you know, Def Jam did a deal, and you know, they started doing their machine thing. That's our first time experiencing
Okay.
machine. Now the thing is, when you get a deal, that's when the real work start, right? Because again, once that song is done, it's like, all right, what's next?
Okay.
Right? And one thing that we learned was, you know, we already knew what we should have pushed next, but Def Jam, again, we had all these independent songs, the labels and own them records, so they had us do new records. And so we was like, hey, we should go with, you know, YG had a big song called Fuck It Up Girl at this time, and she a model. We like, we should push this. They like, nah.
Your
And the
model
thing-
was a fucking
That was a
banger.
banger, bro. Oh my
That's
goodness.
old YG right there.
And at the
man.
time, and I still wasn't managing at
Right,
this time.
right,
I'm
right.
like, hey, look, bro, I just believe in you. I believe in the movement.
got you.
I'ma just hustle, my nigga. I'm a hustler, bro. So whatever we gotta do, we gonna take this shit on the road. And us not really understanding the business, you know, back then we could have just said, hey, look, Def Jam, take control of this record. That way y'all get ownership of it, that way, or a partial ownership of it, and y'all push it. But since they didn't own it, they tried to go with this song called Patty Cake that they put us in the studio, so they had control of that record. But the streets didn't know that record.
Yeah.
Ended up becoming, you know, popping later.
Yeah, it was popping later,
But
yep.
it didn't hit like they thought. And shit, man, we couldn't get none of them niggas on the phone.
And that crazy. I tell to people to this day, like, no matter how much money you put into somebody, your fans have to fuck with it.
Facts.
The fans have to fuck with it. You said like, they put a machine behind it
Yeah.
and they try to create something.
Yeah.
And the streets ain't fuck with it.
Yeah.
But they fuck with what they fuck with.
Yeah.
So you got to be authentic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing that popped us off was not giving up, really working. You know, YG got signed in 2009. We put our first album out 2014. So you got to think that's a 5 year gap. That's a 5 year gap of hustling. So we had to go back to the drawing board.
Figure it out.
You know, niggas is like,
I remember that.
Y'all niggas is one hit wonders, and I'm like, nah. So, you know, we booking shows. You know, we was doing tours, bro. We doing tours $1,000 a show, $500 a show.
But he still
getting paid off of music.
but he was getting. But see,
No, we wasn't getting no money off no music.
y'all was getting booked off of the shows.
I mean,
though.
you're right.
Yeah.
We making $500 a show.
I mean, yeah.
That's nothing.
It wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing.
It was something because it wasn't
It
at that
made
time.
big
It wasn't no
stuff, yeah.
festivals. It wasn't nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But what it did for us is like, okay, it
So
showed
it's
us.
possible.
It showed us like, you know, okay, it is possible. And
We're on
what
the
we
right
did,
track.
our first tour. I tell niggas this. Our first tour we was opening up for Bobby Brackens. Shout out to the homie Bobby Brackens. That's my guy to this day. YG, Mustard, and Ty Dolla $ign was opening up for Bobby Brackens, right? And so that showed us because we was doing a lot of clubs. And then one of my guys was like, look, man, y'all got to start learning the touring game. And I was like, all right, cool, what's that? Because we getting $1,500, $2,000. You're like, well, look, man, it's tour shipment. Y'all probably going to make like $200, $300 if y'all open up. But we said, fuck it, because it was going to allow us to expand our markets. And we did that.
I might buy a piece for a little food on the trip, you know what I mean? So you gotta,
Bro, we came home negative.
yeah, you go to, you know what I mean? You got a crew,
our
man.
Shit, you still can do that shit to this day.
Yeah.
But y'all was getting y'all was getting booked though from just not from the movement and the patty cake song.
Yeah, because I was a promoter, so I already knew the game.
You
So
already
I'm
knew
like,
the game, yeah.
I'm like, you know, I already got my network of just people that I know, so I'm just like using my network, like, hey man, just book us, man, just fuck with us. And they just like, all right, B is you, fuck it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And those relationships go a long way still to this day. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that, you know, we did a lot of them early bookings for, man.
Right.
One of my guys, Geoff Schumann. Shout out Geoff Schumann, man. He works at Live Nation now. He gave us our first $5,000 show, and he also gave us our first $1 million show. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So to be able to do shit like that is like, you know what I'm saying?
My first $1 million show.
Yeah.
Now we really rich in real life.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah.
rich in real life.
Yeah, man.
Making money for the grind to the, you know what I mean?
Real
So
shit.
we at.
Okay, so
Yo.
boom. So that was 2009. Then we're going to fast forward to 2014, the album, right? This is the first album.
Yeah.
So then what happened?
So, man, this is a big part, and I can't overstep this. So, you know, 2009 through 2013, we was really doing our mixtape grind. You know what I'm saying? And we had the West Coast on lock. We couldn't figure out how to get to that other side. We was just like, man, the South ain't fucking with us, East Coast ain't fucking with us. We did a show on the East Coast one time. Everybody left, so we couldn't figure it out. And what ended up happening was, we in the club one night, and Young Jeezy was in the club, right? Jeezy was signed to Def Jam, and I'll never forget this, man. Again, you know, I just believe in like energy, universe. I believe in all that shit, man. So again, how I said James Harden, you know, you know, it's the circle that came from this early promotion. Now years later, we all, you know, now James Harden in the NBA. Now, you know, Mustard got his, you know, a few hits under his belt.
Now you sit courtside
YG got,
with
you know,
Denzel.
you know, motion, right? So
Damn. Full circle, yep.
So Jeezy heard YG in the club and was like, man, he got a deal. Def Jam was, DJ Drama was playing our shit. Drama was like, shit, he signed to Def Jam. Jeezy was like, nigga, I'm signed to Def Jam. Why y'all not pushing it? Jeezy made a call and was like, man, look, I want to fuck with YG. He reached out to us. Jeezy pursued us for about 6-7 months and everything. And we was just like, man, fuck it, man. Like, you know, he got the South. Let's figure it out and everything. And Jeezy, man, look, I got to give people their credit when it's
Right,
due.
yeah,
Jeezy
right.
was very instrumental in helping us expand. And the thing is, again, we was already, just based off our hustle and our grind, we was already doing shows in Japan and Europe and all that shit.
I want to get messy real quick.
Do
So
think?
when you got closer to Jeezy and all that, right?
Yeah.
When Jeezy got on that stage with the verses, were you disappointed?
Nah, I wasn't.
You wasn't.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, man. I'm just saying.
You know what it was?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why, man. Because again, you know, I understand growth, and just for them to be on that stage at that
show
time
a
was
lot.
like big. Because it's like, man, that was some real shit.
B.
That was some real shit.
B. If somebody smoked me, and
see.
I'm rolling around the game, and you over there, this dude said I'm smoking on Chef tonight, and you over there, making money with him.
I'm gonna say this.
Oh,
Me
man.
personally, I wouldn't even put myself in that position. But I'm not Jeezy. So I get the growth, but it's just like shit. That's what come with that. If you agree to do some shit like that with an enemy, it come with that.
Yeah.
And he handled it because it's like this. Okay, if he would have crashed out, then
Yeah.
if
How
he
you
would have
felt,
crashed out,
I think that's the bigger picture, man.
Bigger picture, how you felt, Money? In your shoes, how you
Like
felt?
Big said, man, I don't even be in that situation.
yeah, I would put myself in that situation.
No, exactly. I want to be in. I just I would have to turn it down. There's no
Yeah.
money that I could go on stage of some dude who killed my homie.
Yeah.
And then he gonna talk crap about. And I'm in a situation.
Yeah.
Like, did you do it for him? Like, who did you really do it for? Like, did you make it? I
He
don't
did it
know.
for the people. Because
For
they
who?
know the people want to
Did,
see
did it
it.
make it any better?
For the crowd, like there's people, like
You
there's
already had the
people,
people. You already
there's
made the
there's
money.
people that wanted to see. There's so many people that would just want to see them up there.
And
they
I
didn't
think,
have to do not one
would say this.
song.
They look. I think it just closed that chapter. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like at the end of the day, what happened. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, all right.
Look how they ended it. Ended it with that song together. Then
Yeah,
Ice
and
now-
they're
now
walking
that can work
outside with
again, though.
Uzis outside with shotguns. They didn't know. You come on, you see
That's
them all.
right.
Everybody was like,
Hey, that's for show, man.
That's the South.
it wasn't
That's
a
just how
show.
they
That
do
shit is real.
That's
I'm
how
joking.
That's how
That's-
Jeezy just rolled.
that's the
though.
South. The
He
South
Yeah,
was
is
like,
Jeezy.
Yeah. When Jeezy had us move
You
from LA.
knew Jeezy when he was like street Jeezy.
Man, look,
and to see him grow to this.
When we was working with Jeezy, man, he was a god in Atlanta. I'm talking about, bro. He was like, "Hey, move from LA to Atlanta." That was a shit that changed because we moved out there. He introduced us to Rich Homie Quan, rest in peace. You feel me? He was like, "Man, I'm gonna help y'all situation. I'm gonna help y'all. Y'all got the West. Y'all got that shit. I'm gonna get
Gotta
y'all
move on,
this."
get elevated.
And so I'm talking about, man. You know, again.
Okay.
But same.
So that's how Rich Homie Quan, the song with Rich Homie Quan.
Yeah,
came out.
because he was early. Like Jesus was like, "Hey man, you gotta fuck with the young niggas coming up. Young Thug, Rich Homie Quan, plugged us with Yo Gotti. That's how we got the Act Right song with Yo Gotti. You know what I'm saying? And me seeing the South, man, the South, I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. The West Coast is so many politics that keep people from working with each other. The South, everybody work with each other. Everybody got a studio around the corner. And like, we'll be in the studio and Gotti will send Jeezy a song and they send shit. it's different, bro.
The network was crazy.
And that's why I feel like they produce so many stars and so much because their work ethic is
That
different.
bond is tighter out there.
It's not as many politics, man. And we learned a lot from out there. And then, we used to go to the club every night. Jeezy be like, "Hey man, we going to the club 100 deep. I ain't going in until all my 100 people in."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We popping 30 bottles a night. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he coming to the club, "Hey YG, man, I'm pulling up in a helicopter." Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy, bro. But Jeezy was always great at marketing. And we had my nigga. And when I first heard the record, I was like, man, I don't fuck with this shit. That's me because it was just a different type of tempo.
Yeah.
And then YG had a verse on there, the first verse. I really didn't like the first verse, but he switched it up. And then it was cool. But we used to go, Jeezy was like, "This it." He was like, "Man, this it." He was like, "Man, I'm telling y'all this it." We was like, all right. YG would probably tell you different nowadays.
Yeah.
Like he said he knew. That nigga didn't know. Nobody knew.
That's where you just gotta put it out. You don't know, huh?
And I remember, I swear to God, we was in Japan, no lie. Jeezy had this mixtape. He had put it on the mixtape. And YG was like, "Man, take it off." They took it off the mixtape, but by that time it already had spread.
Yeah.
So I end up going back to we end up going back to I remember I did a party, man, because again we was living in Atlanta.
How long y'all lived in Atlanta for?
6 months.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, 6 months.
But
That shit's worth
That's all
it.
it takes.
That's crazy.
Because
But that's what Caitlyn did,
it's
too.
There's
like,
so many
look,
other people on that
look,
side of the world that you just not reaching. You'll never reach just staying in San Diego or in LA and shit. You gotta go out there.
you have to
So
go.
how many people you see? We go pause that.
Yeah.
Money. How many people you see? LA artists, West Coast artists
None,
are stuck here. They're not
scarce.
doing that moving.
A lot of people, we don't win and have shows out there, and they like, bro, we fuck with the West Coast so much, but y'all don't come out here. Like, we would never know if y'all don't come. So whenever I go out of town and shit, I make sure I play some LA shit, because a lot of people be like, damn, what song is like? A lot of people ain't heard walking in. You'll go to Miami, be like, bro, damn, I ain't heard this song. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, the shit banger. Then every song now, they charting after that shit now, like, damn, they got a gang of other shit. Let me tap in with this. But that's just how the music worked, though.
Crazy. So you can't be scared.
Can't be scared of nothing in life. Shit ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
See, that's
but
crazy.
How'd you get into like actually like where you at now? From like everybody be street DJs and or at the house. Just how'd you come in your journey, Money?
Shit, Blue Bugs blew up. Once they started going,
before they blew up, what we
I was doing
doing?
regular like parties and shit. I used to throw my own parties and shit too, like 18 plus and shit. Then I played basketball before that, so I was already popular from that shit.
You was
And
good?
then, yeah, and then, go ahead, you can just type in the name, It's gonna pop up. Top 10 scoring in every school I went to, man. But that's not here or there. I leave the past in the past.
But from Blue Block, so were you already DJing for Blue Block? So how did it?
So
how
we
Blue Bloods-
went to high school. I went to school with Jeezy and DJ. We all went to West Adams. So I met them like a long ass time ago. And then Vision, that's my older brother. I've been knowing him forever. Shout out Vision.
Shout out to Vision. That's my guy.
He used to, when I stopped playing basketball, I used to go to his house every day. And he used to be like, bro, like, go practice. He had me practicing on one song for like 2 months, nigga. Can't even remember that. It was a Ty Dolla song. I want to say it was Weekend or some shit. Yeah, and I was just doing it. And one day I just did it on my own, switched it. He said, bro, we've been in it for 2 months, and it took you that long just to switch the song. I said, damn. Then after that, it got better. He sent me on my own gig.
Vision showed you how to DJ?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah. Then he sent me on my own gig. Got paid like $150. I'm like, oh, this shit cool. Nigga, still had like a little regular job and shit. Then my DJing checks started getting more and more than my regular job. I'm like, yeah, I gotta figure this shit out. I'm like, man, I can't keep doing this shit. Then once I start getting like good, I used to ask that Vision all the time, like, bro, like, man, I got shows like with Blue Bucks, but I'm canceling clubs and shit. Like, what the fuck do I do? Like, I ain't trying to mess up my name in the city and shit. He like, hey, nigga, you gotta sacrifice. You gotta choose. You want to be a tour DJ right now, or you want to be a LA DJ? And I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna do the tour shit. I said, I'm gonna hit way more markets than I would do just being in LA. You feel me? So a lot of niggas in LA just be gatekeeping shit. You feel me? They have the same people every week. You feel me? So that's how a lot of shit be dying down. It's like, nigga, we trying to hear new shit. It's only certain DJs go switch their set list every week. You feel me?
It's crazy because you know what's popping in Atlanta and New York
All
because
type
you
of
over
shit.
there.
You feel me?
Like,
And I
what's
can bring that
this?
here. They like, what's that? I'm like, yeah, this is some shit. You know?
Yeah, that's what's up. Cause I know I've seen you around and Money to fucking turn into a fucking artist. He'll grab the mic and go out there and fucking crowd surf and do all kinds of shit. I'm like, what's going on?
I'm my own brand at the end of the day. Don't ever just be attached to one thing. You feel me? You always want to have multiple streams of all type of shit. I always said that. I said, what if one day Blue Bucks or Kalen want to retire? Like, I don't want to do music no more. Am I done now? Am I fucked? Like, what I'm gonna do next then?
You know, that's a good point on this on this being rich in real life. A lot of people be like, multiple streams of income is like, no. They could get a good bag somewhere. Mm-hmm. Multiple is cool because you got to secure the big bag in one area. You don't make a lot of small bags. You make that big bag.
I mean, on nothing.
But then if that big bag fall, you good over here. You still good. That's what multiple streams of income really mean. Not making seven small bags in different areas.
Stressing yourself out over that shit.
Yeah.
That's also what I wanted to do. I didn't want to keep going DJ clubs for 300 when we having shows and I'm getting a band to show and shit. Like, nigga, I'm about to go up here for 45 minutes, had the time of my life versus had to do a whole gig for 4-5 hours and shit. Yeah. I'm stressed. I'm putting more stress on myself for that.
Hell yeah. I get, all this shit. But if you talking about multiple streams, I know, B-More, you said you want to turn into the networking and he turned into trucking. Tell me how that coincide. You know what I mean?
Shit,
tell me how.
Pandemic.
Right?
Yeah, pandemic happened, stopped every,
all the shows and stuff.
Yeah, man, I had just bought a house in Vegas. You feel me? At that time, I was focused on like just diversifying my income. You know what I'm saying? Because again, one thing in the music business, that's a story. You see a lot of people go broke. You see a lot of people not managing their money. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I've always been, financially literate, but it was also a time where I was out there getting checks and spending it and everything. I'm like, man, where the fuck this money going? So, I have to do some homework and say, okay, what makes the most millionaires, real estate, things like that. So, ended up getting a spot in Vegas and everything, which was one of my, best things. I encourage every artist to invest in some real estate. You know what I'm saying? And then trucking, shit. The pandemic stopped. Like I said, I just got a house, man. I just did a boat party, man. I just spent like $20,000 on a boat party, so I was going big. But I had a tour set up, so I'm like, shit, I'm about to make this money back on tour anyway. And then they kept saying, yeah, we shutting the cities down. And I'm still like, nah, I'm still going on tour.
That motherfucking hit, that shit crushed my heart.
So I'm like,
look forward to that tour.
I'm like, man, what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, pandemic. You got to think, man, the early things of that pandemic, it was crazy. So I was like, all right. It kind of forced me into just speeding up my process of diversifying. You know what I'm saying? And again, I just bought this house and everything, and I'm looking. I get these emails every month, and it show my net worth. If I sold this house, how much I'll make? And this motherfucker was saying negative $80,000. I said, man, did I fuck up? Did I make a wrong move? Yeah. And then with the trucking, I was looking at, okay, what's something that's still going?
Still going, right.
So that ain't stopped. You still did it.
And the thing I tell people, man, trucking and touring is the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And you got to think, I spent about 12 years on the road, so I understand all the markets, I understand logistics and everything. I understand the legalities of drivers and how long they can drive and how long they got to rest. It's the same concept and everything. Instead of just moving artists around, I'm moving loads.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, if I gotta, I can book a show. I tell people this all the time. I can book a show in Seattle for an artist, but I can't book a show for that same artist every week. With a truck, I can book it every week. So I was like, okay, this is
You understood it,
same,
yeah.
I just got it and everything. So
I understand it.
It's like pandemic gonna fuck me up. The pandemic fuck me up again. I'm
I'm
If
good.
that shit ever happened again, got something for that.
yeah, so and even with that, man, like when I got the truck, I hopped in that shit and I was driving it. People like, B, why you driving it? One thing about me, man, any business, anybody that know me, man, I tell people this all the time, man. Like I don't mind doing the work. I'm not too big, to really grind,
Right.
thug it out, and really learn the business. That way, it's just gonna prep me for teaching it. You know what I'm saying? But also, I tell niggas, man, I done did a lot, man. I done sold millions of records. I've been around the world hundreds of times. I'm very, very well connected. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, sometimes shit, if I want to hop in a truck, shit, I'm gonna do it.
I thought,
You know what I'm saying?
like, I really thought I was really good at networking, but the way the Be More works, like, there's not a person who's gonna go. Like, if I might be
don't give a
lost,
fuck who it is.
I might be lost in the sauce, popping bottles with girls and stuff. Be More is gonna make his way out. Find who's the manager, find who the owner, find the DJ. Then you see by the DJ booth.
Next round gonna be free. We gonna have shout outs to that motherfucker, all type of shit.
So like he doesn't lose focus of the power of global networking. You know what I mean? Yeah. We got an ebook coming out too. A global network is showing people how to actually network. But be like I've seen him any city I go to. You see, oh you're in Nashville. I know a guy. Let me hit you with a promoter over there. Where you at? I've seen him moving in rooms where like everybody know him. I think when we went to Fashion Week in New York, B More had he told me, come out in Fashion Week, and that was a very prestige area, and we slid off. YG they did their own thing, but him and I slid off, and we went and did some power network. He said, yo, this is a guy who runs Spotify playlists. This is a guy who runs this. And they all know him. B, what's going on, Brandon? What's going on? Like, so he's knowing all the key people.
Right.
You know that it's like there's a bunch of key people undercover to wear the suits and don't wear no jewelry on. Look like B More just
That's
chilling.
what I'm
You know what I mean?
saying.
But actually running the business.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, networking relationships is everything, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. Maintaining the relationships, not doing no goofy shit. Everything is, and not only that, man, again, this is a business, so you're going to have to deal with these same people or these same companies and everything. So it's important to know that, maintain the relationships, and then do good business.
Right.
And not only that, show up. I encourage every artist, when you got an interview,
Be on time.
show up.
Be
Show up on
professional.
time. Be professional. Do the work, because again, a lot of artists forget this shit is a job.
It's a job.
You know what I'm saying? And,
And sometimes the interview though, right? Because the people that don't know you, they're actually watching you and see if they could do good business with you.
Yeah.
People are shy away from that shit.
Yeah, it's like I said, man, this is just a job. If you want to get a music game, understand, do your research, look at the greats, you know what I'm saying? Just study the game and understand what come with this shit. You feel me? I love sports, so I always, compare a lot of shit to sports. So it's kind of like, and movies. A lot of artists sometimes don't like to do interviews. They like, I'm too big for interviews. I'm too big for this.
You can never stop.
But every time I see Kevin Hart with a movie, that nigga on them same couches. He doing the same interviews with Big Boy.
Run them all
You know what I'm
around.
saying? The Rock, you feel me?
Hey, interviews.
Anytime the president is running a campaign, you're gonna see Donald Trump in the jungles. You're gonna see Kamala Harris, and you're gonna see everybody doing their campaign.
They're gonna
Because it's marketing yourself, it's keeping you in people's faces.
Man.
It's building that peer-to-peer relationship. It's everything, and you gotta it's parallels, man. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's just some advice.
No, that's some great advice,
You ain't gotta
man.
take it.
Hey, it's so funny. He always telling that shit. Be like, hey, but that's what I would do.
That's what I would
You
do.
know how to
That's
do it,
crazy.
but that's what I do.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And I think, to just look at the greats, man. And like I said, man, a lot of these people that I'm talking about, I mention them because these people are already multimillionaires. Some of these people already got
On top of
got
that
9
shit.
figures.
Right.
So what make you think you too good to go do some
Work
shit?
harder than
Exactly.
what they doing. They waking up every morning, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning.
It's crazy, man.
everybody-
So last time I was on here, I told people, I don't think there's a blueprint to making it big. Like
I feel like it's a work ethic. It's a mindset.
So you get all right. So look,
A lot of people don't have that work ethic. Like a lot of people,
but hold up. If you have the work ethic, but you don't got the people, what do you have?
your work ethic will always bring the people around you.
But if people don't care for what you're doing, what does that do?
You don't want to be around them. Because your work ethic should always want. If
I
somebody,
have the hardest work ethic.
Chef. So if you see me DJing all the time, like this nigga always killing
No,
me.
that's DJ is
No.
different.
But
I'm talking
listen.
about rapper.
Listen. Because it's the same thing. It's all music. It's all the same shit. All right, say you got a cool ass rapper. He the hardest rapper ever. Lazy as hell. You'll be like, I fuck with this nigga, but he kind of lazy.
True.
But then you got another rapper that work hard as fuck. He bringing bitches around. He doing everything, but he working hard though. You'll be like, hey, bring that nigga around because he might want to record after.
But you say he be rich and stuff. That's a lifestyle, but people don't fuck with you.
I disagree. I respectfully disagree, and this is why. I don't all the way disagree because you're right, but this shit is about who you know.
Yeah, that too.
It's for sure.
But
you know.
100%.
How many times you seen an artist is whack, but it's hard working? He's always around, running around, let me perform, paying for every opening. He's in your face all the time, but he's like, I don't really.
He might don't got it all though. Cause I don't think people
But you have to have
realize.
it. You gotta have it.
No, with an artist in anything, you gotta sell the whole thing. You gotta have the look. You gotta have the personality. You gotta have
you gotta have it though.
You gotta have it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think hard work just gets you big. You gotta like have it. You got the swag. You got the sound. You know what? You don't have the sound, but if you got the lifestyle, if people just fuck with you as a person, and then you have all the hard work ethic, I think it'll work.
Yeah.
But if you like, if you're just
it'll fake work.
Huh?
It'll fake work. You don't want that work. I wouldn't want that work. It's like he only around because of what he could contribute. Yeah. We don't really care
But then
if this nigga
the
around.
people start fucking with the person.
But you know what? I tell people in the music game, you need about 10 things to go right to be successful.
Gotcha.
You said you gotta have a work ethic, you gotta have the marketability, you gotta have a look, you gotta have a song, and you gotta have a team. If you missing something,
it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. Something's gonna be off.
Fall off.
Cool. You know what? That's a perfect analogy to put it. Because some people have the work ethic, but don't have the look, don't have all this other stuff. And you know, some people may have the team and the work ethic,
but don't have the rest.
Don't
you know what I mean?
You gotta have the whole package.
You know what? That right there, that's a good key point right there. You know what I mean? So it's like I feel if I'm I'm in the industry, if I'm Atlantic Records, and if I want to make $10 million, hey, I choose you. I'm gonna put $1 million into you, and it worked. But it always worked. I know people right now who got signed to major labels and back in their mom house and just sleep on couches and fucked up.
Yeah.
You seen it? They like, you know, the label will put it in them and they try it, it ain't work. They fucked up.
Yeah, no facts.
A lot of shit can be a fluke.
But again, that's important. Important to having a team in your infrastructure because again, a label will throw you the bag, but if you ain't ready for what come with that, and also if you don't understand the game,
man,
well, you're gonna be stuck.
You're gonna be fucked.
You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Once you get to these levels and starting to play in the big leagues, you have to understand the business. You can't just
turn it to feelings.
You can't you can't move how you used to move. You got to be able to understand
you accommodating them
what works
now.
on this level because again, you know, I tell people this, man, when you're doing music is a form of digital real estate, right?
Right.
It's an asset. Niggas don't even look at music like an asset. You know what I'm saying? They just think they throwing out songs, not getting their publishing, not getting the proper paperwork. It's like this. Would you buy a house without doing paperwork? Would you buy a car without doing paperwork?
Fam, no.
Yeah.
Niggas do songs without doing paperwork. But music can be one of the biggest assets, right?
Right.
So when you with a label, you know, the record labels are like, okay, we want to make sure the producers pay. We want to make sure the samples is clear so we don't get sued. You know, we want to be able to, you know, you just did the song today, but you want to drop it tomorrow. Nah, give us about 3 weeks to drop the record. And the reason why, we want to be able to turn this into the streaming platforms to, you know, maximize the marketing and the playlisting that they can give us. You know what I'm saying? If I drop a record tomorrow, it's not even going to hit the algorithm. All that shit plays a key factor. You know what I'm saying? And some artists don't fuck with that. They like, nah, they want to do what they want to do. And again, if that's what you want to do, cool.
Do it.
But if you want to play it at the highest level, my nigga, you got to understand the game. And again, it's not hard, but you just got to, you know, have a little bit of patience and just understand the system.
Gotcha.
And if you do it, hey, you can be very successful.
We can get a game for B all day.
Man.
You know what I mean? But I know we're going to close up in a little bit. But look, hey, I want to hear, what's one of y'all craziest groupie stories? Y'all been on tour. Y'all got to name no name. I just want to hear the craziest story. I know Money told me one time, you told me a story one time that he was like,
Which
yo,
one?
you said the dude had his girlfriend. The dude was outside the tour bus screaming for his girlfriend, Angie. And you like, man, you came out the bus and you said, ain't no Angie in here. And then later on, Angie came out, walking out the bus, and the boyfriend grabbed her, took her home.
Said I called your mama and all type of shit. So I knew you was on there. I was like, damn, my bad,
But he
brother.
went home with her, huh?
Yeah, no choice. They live together.
Let me hear it. Come on,
You know
y'all.
what?
Let me hear some more.
Man,
Like crazy, because now it'd be hard because you know what? I remember one time I was in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Where you? Yeah, I don't know. I was in Vegas, and I had this girl with me, and I brought a section with Neo and Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
I'm just saying she disappeared after that.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Now she want to be Neo's wife. But that's not here nor there. But
I'm
whatever.
just saying, you know, like,
Yeah.
but however,
Hey, yo.
a lot of times I'm the biggest person, like the biggest, like popular person in the room.
Yeah.
But I bring them around big fishes, like the
Yeah.
real big fishes, and then their jaw drops. So y'all been around some girls that their jaw drops.
Mm-hmm.
So let me hear the story from each one of y'all. Just one
Man,
story.
bro, you know what? It's so many, man. I would have to think because again, I've seen it all.
Then, buddy, go ahead and tell me
I've
one if you
seen
got
it.
one in your head. That you couldn't believe that she did that.
I'm gonna say this. I seen a girl sneak across a country before.
Huh?
She snuck across. She had no passport.
She stuck her crutches to keep going.
Hell yeah. The homie put her. You know, on the tour bus, you have bumps.
What country?
Right?
Canada.
This is like Europe. So
Yeah.
we have to catch like a
Told you
ferry.
like a pig in a blanket.
We have to catch a boat from France to somewhere else. She wanted to go with the homie, and so she had no passport.
Said by all
So
means.
when she, you got the bunks on the tour bus, so she laid up against the wall, and just put a grip of blankets on her.
Uh-huh.
And the police, like when you cross the borders, they checking all through the shit, and they didn't find her, bro. And she was just like some luggage, my nigga, just with a grip of blankets around her and shit. She just toured the rest of the country.
Was she with the artist or she with the team? Who was she?
She was with somebody that was part of the crew. That's just one thing. Look, man, I done seen so much. It was just like, this shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And for me, people know, man. People would think that, it's easy to go out here and go crazy.
Right.
I know in my position, I'm big on just making sure,
Cool.
everything is cool, responsible, things like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I don't indulge. I be chilling, right?
Yeah,
know
you
what
be
I'm saying?
chilling.
I'm
Every
chilling,
time I
'cause
see you,
again,
be
'cause
chilling.
Because again,
Same,
you know what it is?
same.
Because I've always looked at it like, man, at
Yeah.
the end of the day,
Me
you know,
too.
me being
Me too, I be
in my
chilling.
position, I can't be out here moving like that, like on some little boy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Real shit.
That's for y'all. I don't.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
nah,
I ain't
nah,
gonna
right.
lie. B be like, he will
Be
all the
chilling.
wallpaper, and he will. I never see him like go home and like he be disciplined. He's like he's
Bro.
not there for that. He be there for work. I'll be here hanging out on the couch, and he go hit the DJ.
Be
hit
in the
owner.
corner,
Be
be on his phone.
and
Nah,
like-
he be on his phone.
And the thing
corner.
is, though, and the thing is, and I tell people, man, at the end of the day, like the ladies, things like that, it's all a part of the culture.
It's just
Right.
a
You know what I'm
show.
saying? But at the end of the day, I look at it like I was just telling homies earlier. I said, look, man, all these girls that be coming to these clubs, man,
Like all of
and they
them
better be
supposed
posting
to.
a flyer. Because at the end of the day, one thing I know about it, like if you go to this city, and you meet 20 girls, that's potentially 20 new supporters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's 20 people that you just never know. You never know who this person is or who this person is and who this person is. And then not only that, I just always been mindful in terms of like the groupie shit. You just got to be careful too because you never know. We going to different states.
Yep.
You never know who these people are affiliated with, tied with, man. Girls will get you set up.
Right.
Like I said, I done seen all.
You
I
seen
done
it all.
you
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
I'm at a point. I tell if I date a girl, if I'm serious about somebody, you can't have a male crush. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Can that male crush would fuck your girl and send her home like she did a tour, but she would fuck you. I've seen it.
I've seen it.
You've seen it, right? Can you wife a girl that have a male crush like Drake's my milk? I don't care, but if Drake's, could you like see yourself wife
Well,
a
I'm
girl
out of
like that?
relationships, man. I done ran out. I'm through.
You through?
It's over with.
I got relationship PTSD. I was talking
It's
about
over
that.
with, man.
You done? You got
Like,
hurt?
well, okay, my little ex, little woo wop. She had one of like the little homies in her shit. I'm like,
One of your homies?
like he's not the homie, but it's like nigga,
No.
like if I see him, he go like, oh, what's up, type shit. Like you feel me? And I'm like, bitch, like what the fuck wrong with you? Like you got this nigga in your close friend, like you don't know this nigga. I said, I see what's going on. I said, I see what's going on. So you're done.
Oh man, yo, hey.
Completely.
You're done.
It's a wrap. I don't, man. I can't. These rappers really fucking nigga girl. and send her back to the boyfriend. I'm like, yeah, nigga, I really and rap about this shit. So I can't be with a girl who be
The nigga
like
Future made a song about Scottie Pippen, baby mama, wife, all that.
in the Gucci flip flops.
It's fucked up.
But this is real. That's why
That's
I,
real.
I, can't
World,
be with,
man.
I can't be with a girl who got a crush on a celebrity. Word, you got a crush. All right, cool. I can't cause I might have you in the room with that motherfucker one day. Cause you know we all connected. We be in the crazy rooms.
Yeah.
And your girl like, but if I ever see him, I got a crush on him. And then guess what? You know, niggas is laughing at you because niggas smash your girl.
So you know one thing I do about myself though? I feel like I'm like that homie where everybody's the big dog in the room. I'm like, they homie, like, nigga, where Rick at? Where that nigga get your money at, bro? Keep that nigga near, bro. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So bitches be saying that. They like, oh, you must be somebody. Yeah, bitch, fuck me. Like, what's going on?
Hold up. Oh, Rick.
nigga is
Hold
sick.
up. You know what? I would say me and you was almost in the same. Me and you, and all three of us are both in the same position. We'll be like the popular people in the room, but we got some big dog homies.
Yeah.
You ever like dated a girl, and he's like, "Oh, we gonna bring you to my homies." And then you backstage and fucking at Dre's, and you got all the top A-list celebrities there, and her jaws just drop.
Nah, I don't take bitches nowhere.
Don't take her nowhere.
It's not happening.
Yeah, girl, because she go. I like to take them to the wolves, see how they act.
It's not happening.
I want to see if they act.
I don't want to see how. I don't even want to entertain the thought of it happening.
Yeah,
Cause I know who I be with.
they wolves.
Savages.
They got way more money than me.
But it's the popularity too. Like I done, my bro, like I done got taken. I done a few girls got taken from me from artists.
For me, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't do it no more.
Me too, right? Hey, you got a girl, and they said, man, I want her, and they end up leaving with her. Like, man, I brought her here.
Yeah.
Over with.
Don't bring Sam to the beach, brother.
Right, man. So should we go close it? Cause y'all boys gotta go sound check. They gotta do all that.
Yes,
Get ready
sir,
for the show.
man. House of Blues sold out tonight, man.
Sold out. Hey, I appreciate y'all, man.
Good luck
We
to
got
know
DJ
that.
Get Your Money. We got
Yes,
fucking
sir.
Infamous Be More. You know what I mean? Billy always in the check. So look, we ain't gatekeep on nothing. You know what I mean? Rich in real life. Next time.
Rich in
Gonna be
fucking
back.
Until
real
next
life,
time,
man.
we out.
We out.